Fury Renegade Pro, 128 gigabyte, 432 gig strips, 4,000.
Or that.
Yeah, you know what? Before we started recording, we were talking a little bit about AI, and we were showing like the Will Smith eating spaghetti, and then in 2023 and where you can see now. So I think we should start off with that. But it's crazy how like far AI has come. Like, I mean, we're going to talk about this a little later, but we were looking for a video. And we're like, all right, is this really coming out? Is this really coming out? And then we go and we search for it, and all we get is like videos, but I can't tell if it's real or not. I can't tell if it's AI. I can't tell if it's something that we should even really talk about.
It's getting incredibly difficult to even tell the difference between ones from just a year or so ago. Case in point with the spaghetti video with Will Smith.
That's
easily one.
Dreams.
Yeah,
one of my dreams.
No, that's what appears in there. Yeah, no, I
inflicted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the thing that's been like really like irritating me is the number of like fake trailers that have like been coming up quite a bit. Like just recently we were talking about the whole idea of like Ben 10 having like a live action like movie, and I was just looking up to try to see like is there like any like kind of news on this, and it's just like I go to this thing, it looks bad, like it looks like a bad trailer. It's just like all over the place, the effects are just very weird, like things are just, the characters are just like, what's up with this? You just go in the comments, and sure enough people are just like, this is a fake AI trailer, this is like not real. And it's just like, why is this like a thing? I remember this also happening with the Superman movie was also like a thing. It was very hard to find like, it wasn't very hard, but it's like, you felt like there was more than one trailer or like more than a couple trailers, and you go in there and it's just like AI, and it's just like, why are you doing this?
That really ends up pulling up a lot of like opinions in regards to not even just trailers and stuff like that, but games as well. Most notably, recently with the Game Awards, Game of the Year winner, Claire Obscura Expedition 33.
Mm-hmm.
That also won a Game of the Year award, I think, from the Indies, from the Indie Awards. However, for anyone who was paying attention at the time, there were a couple of articles posted about it that were the Indie Awards, I think it was called the Indie Awards, whatever, but they were actually disqualified.
Because they're not an indie.
No, they did qualify for that. That wasn't what disqualified them. Somebody had found AI-generated imagery in the game.
Oh, it's part of the textures.
Part of the textures, and they disqualified their win. That's what took them out. And I believe the studio tried to come back or saying something that they were actually meant to be placeholders that they had forgotten to remove. And I believe that as of right now, if you were to go and play a patched version of the game, those images were removed.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using AI as for some of your assets, there it is. For your assets, and you're not creating those assets, or someone hasn't created those assets and they were made by AI, then yeah, I would disqualify you also. To me, I don't even think Expedition 33 was an indie. I thought it was backed by a major company.
I don't think so. I think they were, let's see, what was their studio?
I think it's a studio that's like a lot bigger than you would expect it to be for something to be called like indie. Like I think there's like a couple hundred people in this studio.
Because that was like
interactive. Okay.
That was something I was watching before, and they were talking about how like Tencent has been like paying indie studios, but when you have companies like Tencent or EA paying for stuff, at that moment in time, you're no longer really an indie. You're like a double A.
Yeah, you're backed. It's like you become like a unicorn, you know? It's like, okay, like there are a lot of like startup, there's like a thing with like startup companies where like, you know, you got like startups and they've got like low employee counts, but they've got like some lucrative like you know, angel investor or whatever, and they become like a unicorn. They've got millions of dollars because it's like that's not the typical, you know, startup setup. You've got the money, it's all set there, it's all covered. The people working there don't have to worry about their salaries drying up because it's already guaranteed.
Yeah, they're doing a quick look up on Sandfall. They aren't backed by a major studio. They may have gotten work from other studios, but it looks like they're classified as an indie studio.
Okay, because there was a game that had came out, but that's neither here nor there. It kind of reminds me also to go back to the AI thing, how COD got called out on their assets being AI generated. So, and then they're like, women, let me get this straight. Speaking of AAA companies, you're a AAA company with a AAA game, and you're using AI for assets for various different things within your game. You have more than enough people on staff to pay those people to do some of these things for you to turn around and use AI.
Yeah, like this is a big thing with and this hits really close to the heart with the Divinity, which is like with Larian Studios, which, you know, I guess also is technically indie, but is probably gotten pretty big since they've got like, you know, had so many like, you know, really smash hits. And like the CEO of all people was like, you know, making a whole thing on Twitter about like, you know, defending like, you know, usage of like AI for like art assets and things, and people were rightfully like, you know, putting him through the pillory basically. And he's still like, you know, making this whole basically making an ass of himself. And it was just kind of like, well, I mean, now I don't know how to feel about Divinity. Like, you know, I was looking forward to this game as part of a really cool original IP that I'd love for more people to, you know, be exposed to, and you're making an ass of yourself. I don't know how I feel about this.
But it's funny though, because like it's going to get to the point where I wouldn't even be surprised if the next like CD Projekt Red game they start using AI, because it seems like these big companies have been slowly adding AI to their workflow, especially the way they be getting rid of people off their staff.
They already broke my heart when they were like, we're not going to use like the CD Projekt Red thing. We're going to use like Unreal Engine, whatever. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Because I heard that too, and I was just like, no.
Like, I get it, because like making your own engine is really hard. Like really difficult, especially now because of like how much like, you know, goes in as part of it. But it's just like, man.
And point to that as well, like to put that to a well-established IP, Resident Evil, RE engine. That they've how many iterations, how many games have they come out with, and they only recently within the past couple of mainline games have come out with their own engine.
Yeah. And you know, there are problems that they have to work around with it. Like Monster Hunter Wilds has, I mean, Resident Evil, which I mean, predictably it would probably work the best for because it's called the RE engine. Typically runs like butter for like most of the things, but when they were running like Monster Hunter like Wilds on it, it was so many performance issues that I think still are like unaddressed. I haven't played it in a minute, but you know, I remember you know, when they were coming out with the Final Fantasy 14 like crossover, it was still having like some like, you know, major like issues for people.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I haven't played Wilds, but I remember the collab that you're talking about because they did on both ends. The 14 had Monster Hunter stuff come in, and Monster Hunter had their stuff, and it was just like I heard about that. I'm like, I'm just glad the RE games work great.
This, I guess, is what it's for. It's on the name. It's on the tin.
Well, considering we're in talking about AI and how AI is infiltrating gaming itself, what do you guys think about AI disrupting the hardware space, as in we were just talking about before, how you can't get decent
dying
RAM
every day because of it. I'm dying.
You can't get a GPU. You can't get nothing. When Micron starts saying things where they're saying we're not gonna make consumer grade RAM anymore, that's a problem.
Especially because a lot of these AI centers, they buy up this hardware. They're not even using it. Like there's like one, I think, I don't remember who, but they admitted that like one of these like, whoever's like building up like the AI data centers or stuff, they admitted they had like all this like backlog of like GPUs. They don't have like a use for it. They don't like have any like use for it. They're building these like data centers and they're not even actually like using them. And it's just like, what? Dude, this is like the most obvious bubble that has ever been known. It's just not used.
Bro, it was said that OpenAI has platters of blank RAM that they're just waiting to use. They're not even using this stuff. So, and all they're doing is just buying that stuff out and then going, you know what? If we use it, we use it. If we don't, we don't. So, and I'm like, I mean, we just got out of the crypto craze and now we're in AI craze, and it's just like the prices and it's like something I watched earlier today. They're like, once the prices go up, they're not coming down. GPUs have been coming down, though. I give them that, but for the most part, the stuff isn't going to come down. Like it's not going to go back to like 2020 prices.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
No, definitely not for sure. Especially because even though the AI stuff was probably taking the more impact, the tariffs still kind of like drove a line because partly because the companies were absorbing that, but also partly because they'll take the opportunity to just, making any kind of excuse to drive up a price. Things are going to be a lot substantially more expensive, all at once.
Hello, I like money.
Fortunately. So I don't know how that math is going to math out.
That math is not mathing for me.
It's definitely not mathing for me, especially since I decided to subject myself to the horrors of like pricing of the RAM pieces. And looking at Micro Center, now so far it's like this one particular brand, Kingston, Fury Renegade Pro, 128 gigabyte, 432 gig strips, $4,000.
Or that.
All right, that's the end of the show. I'll talk to you guys later.
That was worth it alone looking up just because of your face.
Bro, the prices are ridiculous.